The anime starts with our main protagonist Bell Cranel with his teammates Lilaruka Arde, Welf Kratso, and Mikoto Yamato fighting with wild wolves while traveling to the middle floor into the dungeon to rank up and get the Forge ability. Later, as they arrive at the middle floor, they go into a restaurant to celebrate their success of being level 2. While they are eating their food, a member of Apollo Familia named Luan tries to pick a fight with Bell and his team by provoking and embarrassing Bell by using the name of his goddess Hestia. Hearing him, Welf becomes furious, starting a fight with Apollo Familia's members. As the fight begins, Welf and Bell beat them easily, but another member of Apollo Familia Hyacinthos Cleo saves his friends and starts beating Bell and Welf. Suddenly an adventurer named Bet Loga arrives the moment and saves them. After the fight, they go to Hestia and tell her about the situation. Later, Apollo sends Bell and Hestia an invitation to his banquet through Cassandra and Daphne, the 2 members of the Apollo Familia. As they go to the party, they meet some new gods and goddesses there and eat the food. But later, Apollo seizes the chance to confront Bell and Hestia, accusing them of attacking his family on purpose and challenges Hestia to a war game and says if he wins, he will take Bell in his custody, but Hestia refuses and leaves the party with Bell. The following day, as Bell is about to leave for his next journey, Apollo Familia surround their home and attacks Bell when he steps out of the house. Bell tries to run away with Hestia while the Apollo Familia chase them. On the other hand, when Welf and Lily hear the news of Apollo Familia's attack on Bell, they rush to save him and approach at the very moment when Hyacinthos is about to capture Bell. They help him escape with the help of Takamikazuchi Familia. At the same time, Xanis Lustra, the captain of the Soma Familia, confronts Lily, and she is compelled to accompany them to urge them to stop fighting. When Hestia realizes they have no way out, they head to Apollo's mansion and accept his challenge. Bell runs to Ace and Tiona to ask for their training while Hestia prepares a strategy to save Lily as there is still time before the war games start. Xanis takes Lily back to Soma Familia, and when she requests to leave the Familia, he locks her in the prison as he wants to use her transformation magic to make a lot of money. Meanwhile, Hestia, Welf and Takamikazuchi Familia plan a strategy to attack Soma Familia and save Lily from them while Bell is training with Ace and Tiona. Later, at a discussion amongst the gods to determine the war games, Hestia is late, and Apollo is wondering if she has run away with Bell. When she arrives, it is decided that if Apollo wins, he will take Bell, and if Hestia wins, he will grant her any wish. Due in part to Freya's prodding, the war is decided to be a siege of a castle with Hestia Familia leading the attack. Apollo permits Hestia to have one aide, as provided as they are from a family outside of town. On the other hand, Hestia and others attack Soma Familia to save Lily. As Xanis hurries toward Hestia, the prison guard gives Lily the prison keys and lets her go. Lily rushes toward Soma and requests her to stop the attack and let her leave Soma Familia. He stops the attack and lets her go after a small test. Meanwhile, Ryu agrees to be their outside helper. After a few days, the day of the war game arrives, and all the gods and goddesses watch the game from their hall. As the war game starts, Hestia Familia has to conquer Apollo Familia's castle having 100 men on guard. When Ryu arrives in front of the castle, she starts attacking the castle with Kratso's magic swords and destroy one of the castle's wall. Mikoto enters the castle and captures most of the men under her gravity magic. Suddenly, Luan opens the castle's gate for Bell and Welf, which angers Apollo. But Luan appears to be Lily, who used her transformation magic to become Luan. Welf's magic swords bust down most of the castle while Bell is able to face directly against the captain, Hyacinthos. Bell defeats him by using the skills he learned from Ace. After Apollo's defeat, Hestia exiles Apollo from Orario, seizes all of his riches and makes him disband his familia. After the victory, Hestia Familia moves to Apollo's house and uses all of his money to furnish it to suit their requirements. As they go into the house, Mikoto and Welf are surprisingly happy to see a hot water tub and a room full of blacksmith's equipment. Due to their present reputation and success, Hestia decides to start recruiting new members, which inspires adventurers from around the country to join them. However, when searching for new clothing, Mikoto unintentionally learns that Hestia owes Hephaestus 200 million valis for the Hestia knife. Mikoto, seeing this, becomes frightened and hurries Hestia to show her the paper. When everyone learns about the debut, Hestia apologizes for keeping it a secret, and Familia commits to help repay the debt. However, it is too late, and everyone departs from her home. Later that evening, Chigusa arrives at the house with bad news for Mikoto. The following day, when Mikoto goes out with Chigusa, Belle, Lily, and Welf chase her and find her going into the Orario's red light district, which is under control by the Ishtar Familia. As they further proceed, they notice some men are trying to harass Mikoto and Chigusa. Welf and Lily rush to save them. While Lily and Welf learn that they are searching for an old friend of theirs, Belle gets separated and targeted by some of the girls from the Ishtar Familia. They take him to their castle, but he manages to escape and hides in the room of Haruheim, a fox-human girl. They talk about their shared love of old fairy tales and heroic tales for the remainder of the evening, even though Haruheim feels undeserving of being one of the damsels since she is a prostitute. Belle wonders whether there is anything he can do to assist when she helps him return home the next morning. Goddess Ishtar discovers from Hermes that Freya likes Belle and plans to use him against her. The following day, as Belle and others return home, Hestia becomes angry when she comes to know that Belle spent a night at Pleasure Quarter and punishes him to clean the neighborhood. While cleaning, when Belle talks about Haruheim, Mikoto becomes shocked as Haruheim appears to be her lost friend, and they make a plan to save her from Ishtar Familia. Meanwhile, Hermes tries to send a message to Freya, telling her that Ishtar has got an eye on him. On the other hand, Belle goes to his advisor to discuss Ishtar Familia and Haruheim. Later that night, Mikoto goes to Pleasure Quarter to meet Haruheim, but she refuses to know her as Isa keeps an eye on them. Not wanting to risk another war amongst familias, Belle and others decide to try and save enough money so they can buy her freedom. In an effort to steer Belle and Mikoto in the right way, Hermes informs them that he delivered a killing stone to Ishtar. Ishtar, however, sends her familia after them into the dungeon to kidnap Belle. When Ishtar Familia arrives in the dungeon after Belle, Isa finds him instantly and starts attacking her. As he has a hard time fighting against her, Mikito arrives at the very moment to help him, but Isa defeats them easily. Suddenly, Fern arrives there and knocks him out. As Belle awakes, it is revealed that Fern has kidnapped Belle and plans to devour him for herself. Suddenly, Haruheim arrives at Fern's dungeon and saves him while she has gone to take medicine. Haruheim takes Belle through a secret route while Hestia is sitting with Takamikazuchi to discuss the situation. As Takamikazuchi hears that Ishtar will be using the killing stone, he becomes shocked and says, "Killing stone is a forbidden magic item which seals away the soul of a renard and will give the user powerful magic." On the other hand, when Mikoto gets to know about the stone, she becomes furious and asks Haruheim about the stone's reality when she meets Belle and Haruheim again. Suddenly, Isa arrives at the moment and tells them that they need her powers to defeat Freya's familia. Then it is revealed how Aisha used Haruheim's powers of level boosting to defeat Belle. Belle and Mikoto are forced to depart after Aisha brings Haruheim back while other girls are still chasing them. When Ishtar Familia is ready to begin the ceremony, Hestia and Takamikazuchi Familias attempt to enter the Pleasure Quarter but Ishtar Familia's guards stop them at the gate. On the other hand, Belle and Mikoto make the difficult decision to risk everything in order to save Haruheim. They propose a strategy, and Belle strikes the castle to create a distraction while Mikoto goes in search of Haruheim. As Belle enters the castle, he defeats most of the women, but Ishtar's guard captures him and takes him to Ishtar. Ishtar informs Belle about her strategy of eliminating Freya and tries to charm him, and is shocked to learn his release phrase talent, but he still manages to run away from her. Meanwhile, Freya Familia is on guard outside the city. Before the ceremony begins, Mikoto squares off against Samira, eliminating several of the participants using magic at the expense of her own power and falling from the castle. Before they get a chance to kill Haruheim, suddenly, Belle arrives at the moment, rushing in and destroying the killing stone. While chasing Belle, Ishtar finds Freya Familia's attack at the Pleasure Quarter, with Freya leading the charge. On the other hand, Belle fights Phryne despite Haruheim's initial protests. Belle finally manages to get through to her, as she asks for his help. Haruheim manages to arm Belle with her magic, and he defeats Phryne as he levels up with the help of Haruheim. After defeating Phryne, Aisha could not let him save Haruheim and compels him to battle her. Hestia and Takamikazuchi Familius go through the castle toward Belle, while Otter saves Mikoto with the healing potion and kills Firen. On the other hand, after hearing the news of Freya's arrival, Ishtar becomes frightened and tries to run away with nowhere to run. Ishtar tells Freya about Bel's secret, with her saying it makes her want him more. Freya moves forward and slaps Ishtar, knocking her off the building, and she is summoned back to heaven. Meanwhile, using his Argonaut ability, Bel manages to push through and defeats Aisha. As Haruheim awakes, she expresses her gratitude to him for saving her and is happy to be free and alive. Later the armies of Rakia and the Ares Familia attempt to invade Orario, but they are no match for the intrepid guardians, especially the Loki Familia. Meanwhile, Hermes tells Bel about the 3 great quests assigned to the people of the world and that there is one that remains, the slaying of the Black Dragon, which had already taken down the might of Zeus and Hera Familius. He claims that the true hero will be the one who completes this journey. On the other hand, Haruheim is also welcomed into the Hestia Familia, but out of jealousy at Bel and Haruheim's closeness, Hestia begins to set certain restrictions. When Hestia confesses her love to Bel, he refuses to say that a mortal and a divine cannot be together. Hearing this, in embarrassment, Hestia runs away while Bel chases after her. To determine how he should handle their emotions, he talks with Mika and Takamikazuchi. Meanwhile, Ares travels into Orario to abduct a god in an effort to gain an advantage in the conflict. Instead, he accidentally stumbles across Hestia and promptly captures her. On the other hand, after hearing the abducting news of Hestia, Bel, Ace, and Asphi start looking for her in an effort to save her. Bel, Ace, and Asphi pursue them in an effort to save her. As Acis finds Hestia, she easily defeats Ares and results in releasing Hestia, but as she walks, she accidentally falls into the cliff. Watching her, Bel and Ace jump as well to save her. Later, while Hestia is still recovering, Bel and Ace seek refuge in a neighboring village. When Hestia awakes, Bel tells her about the situation that as they fall into the water, Ace saves them and is now looking around outside the village. Suddenly, the sick mayor of the town arrives with her daughter Rina and welcomes them, saying that he was once an intrepid traveler who fell in love with a goddess he was vowed to protect and was saved by her death. When ACI returns, she tells Bel that there is no sign of Rakia forces and Asphi and suggests to stay a bit longer. The following day, there is a festival in the town to pray for a good harvest. Hestia asks Bel to join the villagers for preparation to repay their favor. Later, while roaming in the village, Bel discovers the settlement is guarded by the scales of the Black Dragon, which deter other monsters. Ace also watches settlement and is irritated by the scales. Later that night, the old man tells Bel how her goddess sacrifices her life for him while saving him from some dragons and advises Bel to take care of Hestia. Hestia approaches Bel that evening at the festival and asks for her help in dance when they later find out that the mayor will shortly pass away. Hestia utilizes her gift to enable him to view his goddess one more time as he goes. The three then reconnect with Asphi and head back to Orario after Hestia assures Bel once again that she will always be there for him, even in a different life. The anime ends when a weird monster girl emerges in the dungeon in the meantime. Wow, that was quite the story. Wouldn't you agree? Let us know how close you were to guess the actual plot twist. Like and subscribe for more awesome videos. See you all in the next one.